Here's to Thirsty Thursdays. Ah,
Well, hello there. You want to know why I'm wearing shades for Thirsty Thursday of January 2026? Obviously, it's because our future's so bright. Look at that. Reflection, no reflection. Reflection, no reflection. All right, should we get this started? Come on now. Yeah, new year, new fun. You got your cans? Oh, look at that. I'm being beamed up to the mothership. Joe Rogan, where you at? Ah. All right, let's take these bad boys off. Oh, if we can. Oh. Hey, fam. You got your cans? I know you do. You know what to do, right? First, we skim the top. Then, we get the gutter. Third, we blow. Oh, yeah. And now for the part that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't is the psst, click. Ah. Trademark Joe Scott and Thirsty Thursday. Let's try this, fam. I can hear it in the headphones. All right. Now we grab our cups, obviously, and we pour until the bubbles appear. We pour until the bubbles, and when they appear, we close our eyes and dream. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to lie, fam. My dream's a little naughty right now. Better fill up the cup with some more juice. Fill it up again. Ah, very nice. Should we take a sip? Here we go. Viking berry. God bless you. Oh, that's good squishy. That is good squishy. Wow. Oh, let's get adjusted. Real talk. I just got done recording about 13, 15 minutes. And I don't know what it is, but I wasn't feeling it. So we're starting over. Okay? We're starting over. We did the bubbles. Check. We did the sip. Check. Was it good squishy? Check. How you like my new dreads, huh? My new dreads? Dreads? That's up top. These are threads. Yeah. How you like my new threads? This was my Christmas gift from wifey. And if it gets a little warm, don't worry. We just slip this jacket right off. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Man, the week that was, it's been a crazy start to the new year. We've already had some surprises personally. We won't get into that because we don't know where that's going to end. But beyond that, I feel like the momentum is good. You know, it seems to come with the territory in a new year where people are excited, they're motivated. Oh, I'm going to do this. I want to do that. You know, the popular cliche ones are, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do better with this. I'm going to do better with that. And man, you don't ever want to be that person that like has this excitement with no action. Because then it's just all talk. And I hate that. I hate it when people are trying to tell you how important they are. I hate it when people try and tell you like all this work that they do and how hardworking they are. And I hate it when people say they're going to do something, whether it's a promise to you or just something they obviously are excited about and want to gain a passion about or pursue a passion they have, and they don't even try. Like, forget that, man. Forget that. I try and tell even my kids, Lucas, man, he gets so excited about something. And then the second you got to do the not so fun stuff, not the fun talking about it to do it, he crashes out, yo. He crashes out. He freaks out. He gets mad, or he just deflates, right? And I'm trying so hard to teach all my kids, that's normal. Do you know how many people go out there as adults? They're so sick of their job. They're desperate. So they make these huge decisions like take out equity of their home to spend all the money to start the business, whatever that may be. And then the equipment shows up, and they unwrap it and it's all exciting. And then next thing you know, they don't do anything because they realize, oh, if I'm going to clean these carpets with this new equipment, oh shit, man, I got to clean the carpets with this new equipment. And then they fade back and they go back into their old routine because they know a paycheck's coming in 2 weeks. That mentality is what murders so much freaking happiness and feeds so much regret, is that fucking 2-week paycheck. You want to know why? Because we know it's coming and we still have the job. So this excitement we had that we're going to break away from our job, it is another full-time job. And I don't mean another 8 hours or 40 hours a week. I mean, whatever is necessary so you can break away from that job. Like, it just drives me crazy. It doesn't drive me crazy that, people talk about it or whatever. What drives me crazy is the people that talk about it every day. Every day. When I was selling software, I was guilty of this too, but I think the difference was before I branched out and started speaking about specific things to a couple of my boys at the job I was at. What's up, Diego? Not sure if you listen to this. Hey, Rocky, how are you, brother? How's the beard? Anyway, I was always doing something in the background, always. Now, did they work? No. But looking back, what I lacked was the consistency, like week 2 and 3, if it wasn't going my way when I was younger. I've tried so many things, fam, and it just comes down to that. So what bothers me is people talk about it every day in the cubicle life, right? It's a good example. When I was selling software, let's go back to that real quick. When I was selling software, everybody knew a guy. Everybody knew a person. Everybody knew a friend of a friend. Oh, they started this thing. Shoot, man, we could do that. Why don't we do that? Or I know this person, or my this, or my that. And man, should have gone on that train. Should have tried that, right? And that just bugs me so much. And so it's so good to surround yourself with like-minded people. And when I started talking about it a little bit louder, different ideas, things like that, it does attract those kinds of people. Now, long term, they may be a little bit different, and they might find out you're a little bit different than they thought of you, and that's okay. But the point is, you're never going to get to the goal you want, I don't care what it is, if you don't do anything. Like, we feed off this dopamine, right? Which is why we take the equity out of the house to buy all this equipment, which is why we take a huge risk of, no. If we do this, I'll pay for the website. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then we start putting in all these resources into creating something. But once it's created, we don't do shit. And even worse, sometimes it never gets created and we spent all this money and nothing happens. And that could be because we're relying on other people, right? Oh, no. This guy's great. He did this for this company. He did that for that company. But the reality is that don't mean shit, son. That don't mean shit. What you got to do. Yeah, I'm going through this. Me and Allie are going through this right now. I was telling my boy last night, we're playing this game of chicken with the latest thing. It's been months and months and months. And we keep getting told, oh, it's good. Yet actually, literally last night, in real time, it wasn't good. And that's frustrating. But that's why it always is better to do all that you can on your own until you get to a point where you're like, dude, I don't have the bandwidth to do this. I need help. Or do enough on your own where there's enough revenue coming in where you can go, okay, how do I grow this? Right? Because now that I got some money, I'm doing fine. How do I grow this thing with just me? You want to do as much as you can on your own, maybe with a partner. But I think even the partners I've had in the past, I wouldn't say there's bad blood or anything like that. Not at all. If they were to text me and say, let's go hang, I'm there, right? But I think even they would say they learned a lot of stuff that maybe they, was unexpected about how to work a business with partners. And so having a partner is not bad. It can be very beneficial. If you're like, in software, it's really common to have like two founders. That seems to be the recipe, right? You've got your builder, your architect, your coder, and then your business sales, guy, right? The money guy. That seems to work. But even then, if you can somehow pull off the idea of whatever software you're thinking of, if you can do it on your own, I personally feel that's better. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, this lesson keeps coming up over and over, right? And the feelings come up over and over. When I hear somebody talk about how, oh, dude, we should do this, we should do that. And then we go, like, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And then they go, oh, well, we should really have, oh, you're out. We're gone. We're not talking anymore. Because that is the thing that will make you not progress. The whole first nope. That is the thing you got to overcome, is that whole thing, because that whole thing is much different than, okay, this is what we got to do. And everyone that's listening to this or watching this or whatever, if you've got that in you, if you've done that several times. I've done it. I did it a lot, especially when I was growing up in junior high, high school, early 20s, even mid 20s. But there has to come a point to where you say, no, what are the steps that we're going to do to achieve this shit? Not this whole, well, first, shut up. That bothers me so much, because the person who is achieving everything that you would like to do, and you see this, if that doesn't drive you to go do it, if that doesn't tell you, hey, if they can do it, I can do it, if that doesn't give you the whatever you need thing to get you going, I don't know if entrepreneurship is for you. I don't. One of my partners before, it was his dream to have like this e-commerce business, right, out of his house, and he would fulfill it because he had all this space in his garage. And ironically, when things started to take off for our hairbrush company, half of that dream came true very graphically. We filled his garage to the tits. But you find out that what you want may not be what you think it's going to be. So looking back, it's almost like, not even this, you know what? Let's not even use the old business and the old partners as an example, because I think the example overall is so real to a lot of people, including me back in the day, that we'll just use it as a generality. So let's say some guy has he has this desire. He's like, yeah, dude, I got all this space. Oh, can you imagine? All you do is you wake up, you fulfill a couple orders, and then you ship it out. Ah, man, that's the life, right? Yeah. If your AOV, your average order value, is like $5,000, like if you're selling something that's like thousands of dollars, yeah, dude, you could wake up, fulfill whatever this fancy thing is, ship it off, and go about your day. And frankly, that sounds kind of awesome, right? If I could sell a Rolex a day and it's just me, and I somehow am not like every other jeweler on the planet where I could make like $100 on the watch or a few thousand and actually have some decent margin, and I'm making 50%, something like that. Yeah, that does sound awesome. That sounds awesome. But the second you realize that that's a rare thing, I mean, you have to switch your mentality. So it's okay to have that desire, right? Have this little side hustle. But even the little side hustle, you got to do it. You got to do it. You have to, unless by some miracle, people just know you exist, they love the product you're selling, and you never have to do any marketing, period, you still have to let people know you exist. And that's on you, because going back to what I was saying before, you got to do it by yourself, because people will take your money all day, gladly. But that doesn't mean they're feeding your dream. They're just feeding their pockets. You understand? They're just lining their life with your resources. So you still have to wake up and post on social media. You still have to wake up and make sure everything's working. You still have to fulfill. Like, it doesn't stop, fam, until you get to be big enough where you're bought out. But even then, you think you're going to go start a sparkling protein company, fizz.fit. For everyone who cares, go to fizz.fit. I think it's still live. And you try another thing. So when I hear people say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, the next thing that needs to happen is how, like, the steps to get to it, not the immediate, well, I got it's over. If you can be that person that's like, okay, I want to start a car detailing business. What's up, Lucas? And I know my kid's 11, but the sooner you learn this, the sooner you can not make the same mistakes that your dear old dad had made or your mom has made, right? But if I want to start a car detailing business, I can do this. Fam, I can do this. Everyone listening to this, everybody listening to this, can go to Walmart and spend less than $100, dare I say, $80 to get a bucket of detailing shit and a hose. And if you're really ambitious, you can spend that $100 and probably $20, maybe $40, depending if the pressure washer is on sale or not. So for less than $150, I can be in the car detailing business. You want to know why? Because I probably already have a smartphone. Let's assume for this little rant, you at least have a smartphone. Okay? So now I have my smartphone. And now I have all my gear, my bucket of shit, right? Pressure washers behind me. Bop, 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 bop. I'm in the car detailing business. Then what typically happens, fam? Nothing. Well, we should make flyers, or well, we should do this, or well, we should do that. How do I go viral on Instagram? Blah, blah, blah. Nah, fuck that noise. No. You've got a smartphone. You've got your gear. You've got the pressure washer behind you. You're in the car detailing business. So all you got to do is text people. You got to tell the world. And the world starts with your world. If I have the greatest everything on the planet, education, hair extensions, gold bracelets, fucking shoes, I make the best high tops in the world, no one cares because they don't know that you are or have done, right? They don't care. And if you can't get over the little, like, whatever that is, to ask your mom or your friend if you can detail their car, it's a long road. Because what I found is people use spending money on their new adventures as an excuse not to do anything, because it comes across as you're putting forth effort and it comes across as that you care. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there, if they were being honest, they're just doing that as a healthy distraction, hoping nothing happens, because now it's a reality. I bought my gear. I've got my phone. I got the pressure washer behind me. Now, oh, wait a second. Now I got to go out and do this? So they use, like, spending money to hopefully go viral on social media, or spending money to, like, set up a website, like all these things, right? I really feel like if more people were being honest and looking back on their life, that they would admit that that was just a distraction, hoping nobody called. And you got to get over that. You got to get over that, because if you can just use your talker, okay? Use your sipper, speaking of. Yeah, dog. If you can use this thing, it's free. Free. Let that sink in. If you can use your talker, your sipper, it's free. But so many people don't want to use their talker. And then the people that do, there's still one more hump to get over, which is going to do the thing, going to detail the car in this example. Sounds easy, right? Nobody does it. Nobody does it. Drives me nuts. I don't know what that is inside of us. Even I've got it a little bit. I brag all the time that I don't have phone anxiety. I don't. I could talk to the vice president. You know, I don't have phone anxiety. I'll talk to anybody. I realize not everybody has that, but even a person like me who claims they don't have it, there are moments, fam, where it's like, and I just have to take a deep breath and make that phone call, or take a deep breath and send that text or email, or whatever the case may be. But those are the two things you got to get over, because everybody gets the dopamine effect of going out and buying the things they need to start their new business. It's when you got to do it that everybody kind of finds an excuse, fades into the background, or they don't have enough time, all these things. Bitch, I look at Allie working, everything she does. She doesn't have any time. She doesn't. And she still gets the shit done. So, look, maybe that's an innate thing, but I promise you, everybody who is successful, who achieves what they want, it's not about if they have time. They just do it, and the time works itself out. Now, it's a little bit different if you have a 9-to-5er, right? But even me, software sales, cubicle all day, making phone calls all day, trying to sling this shit. You know, I got off work and put in the work. When Allie was starting her career, I'd get home from work, and I'm a night owl, and I would message the holy hell out of everybody in the hair industry. Because what else am I doing? You put on Netflix, most of us listening to this or watching this, if we're being honest, we got 2 screens going all the time, bitch. Even adults, even people my age. The show's on in the background while we're really seeing the good stuff on our phone, right? So put on a Netflix show, put on a movie, do whatever, and then I would lay on the couch and just message the shit out of everybody in the hair world. Because at that time, the name of the game was, how many followers do you have? That's not the name of the game so much anymore. It definitely helps a lot, and it's still a big chunk of it. But back then, it was all about followers. How do you get followers? You comment on people's posts. You DM them. You follow them. You do all the things to get their attention so they follow you back. That was the name of the game back in the day. And so I would do that all night. And Allie went from, 50-ish followers, 100, whatever it was, to up over 12,000. Because I did that every single night for months, maybe a year. That's the mentality you got to have for your brand new car detailing business in this example. When you get home from work, if you are employed, you got to say, follow me, and put it out there on Instagram. You got to say, hey man, I started a detailing business. Can I try with you guys? And send it out. And that is the only way people will know you exist, is if you use this thing, your talker. It's super passionate for me as I get older. It's always bothered me. But I'm more passionate about it now as I get older. I see my kids getting grown, knowing that the world is going to beat them up. And there's another thing that comes with rowing your own ship. We could talk about the negative things and the hard things all day long. But the positive of it is, if you can pull it off, even if things aren't going your way, deep down in your gut, you've got this sense of pride. Yeah, but it's up to me. Yeah, but this is actually my money. Yeah, but this is actually mine. I don't respond to anybody. This is me. And that's the positive side when things get hard, that you can say, yeah, but I'm here and I'm going to put forth the effort. And that should help drive you as well to keep going. But when it's all said and done, it's actually, in my opinion, so much easier to get a business going. Back in the day, I had a pre-workout company. It was called Panic, drinkthepanic.com. I used my cousin as like the logo. He was holding up a beverage with bubbles, and no surprise there. And, we did it. We created a product, and it was awesome. Dude, it was it. If you haven't figured it out by now, is the Beverage King right here. So I know when it hits, and it hit. And my cousin was the same way at the time. We got these samples, doing the R&D, all this kind of stuff, right? The fun stuff, right? We're putting resources towards the thing to make the money. That's the fun stuff. And we both knew it. The second we tasted this, we were like, yep, that's the one. And then we went and worked out. Felt amazing. Actually, I'm not sure if we worked out that very first day. But anyway, point being, we did the thing, right? We got the product. We made a product. And my cousin, he put in probably all the money he had. God bless him. And what did we find out? You can put money towards a website, because back then it wasn't like now. You know, you spend, I think it was like $1,800 to get a website, right? And then you spend like $5,000 to get the product made. Shout out John. Love you, brother. And then you say, okay, how do we sell this shit? And you literally have to go door to door, right, to sell it. And we made mistakes. I made mistakes. I thought I could sponsor UFC fighters and then stuff would take off. It would go. It would roll. That easy, because why wouldn't I? Everywhere you turn, there's a celebrity, there's an athlete, there's somebody that's saying, hey, buy this because I use it. So I thought, yeah, piece of cake, right? So we sponsored George Masvidal, Bobby Green, and a lot of random other ones. Dakota Cochran. I can't remember the gal's name that we did. She was in Invicta. Had that guy. Anyway, the point is, I can have this rant because I've done that. You spend the money, right? Thinking that it's going to take care of itself in the background. When at the end of the day, if it works, cool. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Business karma is real. And you might be doing all the right things and it still may not work out, which is why you got to do it no matter what. And if you happen to get lucky, you know, and things pop off, or if things pop off due to your hard work, you have to always take care of the baby on your own. You can't trust anybody else to do it. You can't trust marketers. You can't trust the influencer. You can't trust that people will just magically find out about it. If I put my pre-workout back in the day, and we had some accounts, fam, you know, we put it on the shelf. No one gives a shit. The only way we sold a lot of product is by telling people we made it. You should buy it. It's awesome. Go to this website, buy it. We had one supplement shop in Utah that sold probably 200. John, man, if you're listening to this, correct me in the comment. But we probably sold a couple hundred bottles there. Like, significant for us because that was literally our biggest client ever. But in the big picture of things, that's not a lot, right? But I'm going to validate all this because we sold so much pre-workout in this supplement shop because we had somebody selling it. They tried it. They loved it. So when people came in, people don't know what they're going to buy. They listen to the dude behind the front desk who could be totally out of shape, who could know nothing about it, but everyone trusts the supplement shop person for whatever reason. And with them pushing it, someone would come in, hey, I'm looking for a pre-workout. They'd say, oh, this is great. Look at this. And they show them panic. That's the only way. So you can see that no matter what you do, it can be a product literally having shelf space. You can have a beautiful website. You can have awesome marketing behind it. And that's great. But until you can put in forth the work yourself, shit's never going to happen. So with all that being said, I think the biggest takeaway is it's just been on my mind, man. It's been on my mind, fam, because life is pretty short. You know, people say it goes so fast, this and that. I don't know if it goes so fast. I think looking back, it goes like lightning. But nonetheless, whether you think it goes fast or slow or whatever, and not to get dark, fam, but it is going to end. So it's crazy to me. Everyone has this knowledge, and that knowledge doesn't drive them to at least go out and actually try. The second things go weird, they go back to their job. The second things get tough, they go back to their job. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And is that bad? No, it's not. But it shows that you don't have the thing. You know what I mean? You don't have that thing that gets you to actually make this thing work, see if it'll work. The last couple of years, shit, 2.5 years. Last year was horrible. The year before that wasn't horrible. It was tough, man. And the year before that, it's just, it definitely lets you see what you're made of. And the punchline is, it still may not work. You know what I mean? But that's the separation. You keep going anyway. You find a way to make it work. And on a personal level, that's what we do. That's what me and Allie do. We've had hella arguments about all things business. And having that realization, a month ago or so, whenever I was talking about it on the pod, I think was actually healthy, because I think I might have held us back a little bit, because it was always a fight as to how to get to the next level. And you know what happens with that? Nothing. You just give your money away to all the mistakes, to all the other things you think are going to work. You just give your money away. And then next thing you know, you have to borrow money to make up for the money you gave away. And you know what's funny? Even in all that, very real life, looking back on all that and looking towards the future, you know what it comes down to? We should have just done it ourselves. Isn't that funny? I can get up here and rant, tell everybody watching and listening, you should do this. Oh, you don't have it because of that. On and on. And guess what, fam? I can't even learn my own lesson. It all came down to, you know what? All this stuff, all this cool shit, we should have just done on our own. Our position would have been better. Our cash flow would have been immensely better. And then our outlook on the future would have been a bit more clearer, because we're doing it, not relying on somebody. And I think that's huge. Go out there, fam. Go out there. Get what you want to get. You want to start a business? Awesome. You want to get in better shape? You know what to do. And I personally want to have that mentality this whole year. I'm going to do it. And if things come around, if people come around within all this, awesome. But I'm going to do it. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? You guys feel that? You can go out and do it. 100%. All right. I've got some internal goals. I'm not quite ready to share publicly beyond that. So with that, let's go out and get it, fam. Don't rely on other people. You've got enough inside here to do it. And always remember, the person looking back at you in the mirror, they're going to be okay. Cheers. Happy Thirsty Thursday.